Hi everyone, I'm Jorly. In this series, we're learning about how we can be people of unwavering faith in God. We have a new memory verse this month, and it's Ephesians 3:20. With God's power working in us, God can do much, much more than anything we can ask or imagine. God can do such incredible things. He has great things planned for our lives. He can do big things that may seem impossible for us, but with God on our side, anything is possible. But first, let's stand up, stretch, and sing a song to Jesus.
Welcome to Sabina's Boot Camp. Pastor Jorly, are you ready to become physically fit and spiritually ready?
I'm ready.
Let's go. Let's begin with some stretches. Reach to the one side.
Ooh, okay.
Good stretch. And the other side. And now we're going to reach down to our toes. And let's do some high knees. Reach one knee up. Hold it for 2 seconds. 1, 2, and down. Reach the other knee up. 1, 2, and down. And now we do fast feet for 5 seconds. Go. 1, 2, 3. Faster. 4, 5, and stop. And now let's do jump up 5 times and down to the floor. Ready? Go. 1 and down. 2 and down. 3 and down. 4, one more time, and 5 and down. And we are done. Thank you, Miss Dorley.
Woohoo, I did it.
Hello, everyone. So good to see you. Why don't we stand up? Let's sing, Lord, I lift your name on high. Lord, I lift your name on high. Lord, I love to sing your praises. I'm so glad you're in my life. I'm so glad you came to save us. You came from heaven to earth to show the way. From the earth to the cross, my debt to pay. From the cross to the grave, from the grave to the sky, Lord, I lift your name on high. Lord, I lift your name on high. Lord, I love to sing your praises. I'm so glad you're in my life. I'm so glad you came to save us. You came from heaven to earth to show the way. From the earth to the cross, my debt to pay. From the cross to the grave, from the grave to the sky, Lord, I lift your name on high. You came from heaven to earth to show the way. From the earth to the cross, my debt to pay. From the cross to the grave, from the grave to the sky, Lord, I lift your name on high. Lord, I lift your name on high. Lord, I lift your name on high. Oh, that was wonderful. Thank you for worshiping with me. I hope you all have a wonderful week. Take care.
Great singing, everyone. Now we're going to learn about David and Goliath. In this Bible story, we're going to hear about how even though David was facing a really scary situation, by going into battle against a giant named Goliath, he chose to trust that God would take care of him. In David's story, we will learn about how we can trust and know that God will take care of us too. Sometimes it can be such a hard thing to remember when we are in such scary situations. But God promises that he will always take care of us, no matter what. Let's watch it together.
There once was a giant named Goliath who taunted the Israelite army, yelling terrible things about God and hurling insults at them. The Israelites were terrified of him. Even King Saul was afraid. Goliath asked for one Israelite soldier to fight him, man to man, but no one would come forward except for a young shepherd boy named David. David went to King Saul of the Israelites and said, "I will fight Goliath. I am not afraid." King Saul doubted David because he was only a boy, and he said, "Don't be ridiculous. There's no way you can win." But David told Saul about how he had scared off and killed fierce and wild animals that had tried to get his father's sheep, and how he used his shepherd's staff and his slingshot to protect the flock. David knew that with God on his side, he could do the same to Goliath. So King Saul let David go, but he made David try on his own armor to use as protection. The armor was heavy and clunky, and David was not used to it, so he chose to leave the armor behind. He knew in his heart that he only needed God's protection, his slingshot, and 5 smooth stones to defeat the giant. Goliath laughed at David when he approached him, calling him bad names and taunting him too. But David was not afraid. He said to Goliath, "God will hand you over to me, and I will strike you down. It is God who will conquer you, and I will win." And so, David put 1 smooth stone into his slingshot, aimed right at Goliath, and fired. Goliath fell to the ground, dead. And so, the giant was defeated by a young shepherd boy named David.
The story of David and Goliath is a popular story. Goliath is a big and scary giant, and here's little David, just a little guy, who believed that God will protect him, and he did. Goliath can represent some things in our lives, like an actual bully in school, or something that scares you that you don't know how you're going to overcome, or something happening at home. The story of David and Goliath tells us that God will be with us, and that with God, He can help us overcome the hard things in our life. The Bible tells us that we can choose to put our trust in God. Remember, God's love for us is bigger than any scary giant. No matter what situation we may be facing, maybe at school or even at home, we can put our complete trust in God alone. He will always take care of us. We can have this relationship with God when we put our hope and trust in Him. Well, service is just about to start. Remember that you can watch the full lesson on David and Goliath online. We miss you and can't wait to see you again. Remember that Jesus loves you so much, and so do we. See you later. Bye.